Greetings and welcome to another edition of Practical Assertion. We're glad that you've taken the time to join us as we try to give a very practical perspective on another topic of interest. This week, I've decided to address something that for many can be an elusive endeavor, and that is purpose. Just what is purpose? Well, according to Merriam-Webster, purpose is defined as the reason why something is done or used, the aim or intention of something, the feeling of being determined to do or achieve something, the aim or goal of a person, what a person is trying to do, become, etc. With this in mind, several questions beg to be answered, namely, is it important? Is it necessary? Is it discoverable? I say yes to each of these questions. I said a moment ago that purpose for many can be an elusive endeavor, and while I believe that to be true, the positive side to that statement is that implied there is that at least those who find it elusive are indeed pursuing it. Some like the long straight road, while others prefer the winding paths through the trees, while still others favor the adventures of off-road treks. Others select the scenic route along the coast, and some fancy the unpaved roads or trails, while those truly daring souls choose to blaze their own trails or paths. For those who are pursuing their purpose, the route chosen is not necessarily an issue as long as it is legal. It is my belief that far too many individuals are not interested in pursuing their purpose at all. As we consider purpose, I have entitled this edition, Purpose or Pleasure? What's driving you? I would like to ask you to internalize and personalize this question because after all, that is what purpose is. My purpose and your purpose are completely specific to each of us, which is why it is important to internalize the question. Some of you are more than likely asking why the mention of pleasure. Well, as I alluded to earlier, some individuals are not even pursuing their purpose, and I believe that for these individuals, pleasure might be their motivation for life. For these people, the journey is more important than the destination. For some of these folks, enjoyment and satisfying their desires is what drives them. In all of my counseling, however, I've got to tell you that for those who are driven by pleasures, they more often than not find pleasures to be empty. Oh sure, for that brief moment, the excitement, the sense of accomplishment, and the thrill of victory seems so satisfying. Long term, and not so long after, in fact, most experience the letdown. Just this past week, one of my clients confessed this very experience as she related having purchased shoes and a bag that she just had to have months to a year ago and had never even worn them. Well, time won't allow me to go into the intricate details of this all too familiar scenario, but suffice it to say that being driven by pleasure will always end up in letdown. That is true of stuff, people, that is relationships, and even positions when we pursue our pleasures. Pursuit of purpose is totally different. Whenever pursuit of purpose is our motivation, there is a principle that is observed which is tied to the definition given earlier. You may recall that purpose is defined as the reason why something is done or used, the aim or intention of something, the feeling of being determined to do or achieve something, the aim or goal of a person, that is, what a person is trying to do, become, etc. In the aforementioned scenario, while the reason for our purchase was clear, that is, to serve our selfish desires, true purpose seeks to understand the reason for my existence. What is my aim in life? What is it that I am determined to do or achieve and to become? With this in mind, and especially when I realize that my purpose is not so much about me and more about someone or something else, then my life has meaning. There is no doubt in my mind that my purpose in life is to help as many people as I can to find that meaning. By the way, how am I doing? This is, by the way, why I offer this weekly blog and many workshops and trainings. My tagline for my business sums it up, and that is, because life was meant to be abundant. My wife and I are determined while on our journey to stop and help anyone and everyone to understand that your purpose in life is worth pursuing. It is important, it is necessary, and it is discoverable. Do you know what your purpose in life is? If so, I'd like to ask you to share it with our viewers. Say it out loud and experience the motivation that you get. Don't know what your purpose is? I'd like to hear from you as well. Perhaps I can help you to find it. Do you know what your purpose is but don't know how to get started pursuing it? Maybe I can help point you in the right direction. Let me hear from you either way, either by email at james.bradley@assert-usa.com or by clicking the Leave a Comment button on our blog page at www.asert-usa.com/blog. Oh, I mentioned the principle associated with purpose, but didn't clarify, so here goes. Whenever I give or help in the pursuit of my purpose, it always comes back to me, many times multiplied. This is the difference. There is no empty feeling, no void, no regrets. Find your purpose and find true meaning. Take care, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Practical Assertion. Goodbye.